Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Big Money Show, brought to you by the team of Big Financial Services. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio is Glenn Cummings. He is the president of Big Financial Services. We're so glad that you're joining us this week. You know, the reality is that times have changed. So our question for you is, are you prepared to navigate successfully to and through your retirement? Given all these changes, you're going to want to stick with us to find out. Glenn, my friend, always a joy to be with you.
You know what we have to say right now, folks? Let's go! So excited today, Kristen.
I know,
so
I'm excited too. We're going to get into a lot of really good stuff and some subjects that we haven't really covered yet on the show together. First up on our list today, we're going to be talking about the timing of when you should claim Social Security. Now, here's the reality, and I know you hear this a lot, Glenn. I think folks are really asking themselves two questions when it comes to Social Security, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
The first big one is, when should I claim my benefits? And the second one, is it even going to be there for me? I'm hearing that a lot as well. So let's get into this important conversation, first of all, about the timing of Social Security.
So the timing of Social Security, you know, a lot of us, when we're getting close to retirement, you simply go to the Social Security website, you log in, right? Mm-hmm. And you get what they call an awards letter. It says, hey, at this date, at this time, at this age, here's your estimated amount of Social Security that you're going to receive. Right? So a lot of times when we schedule first meetings with clients when they come into the office, please bring that with you, right? Because that's a very important part of us establishing your future income plan. Because,
and just to interject, I should say, folks can actually go. It's completely free to set up your account with Social Security if you visit ssa.gov. That's ssa.gov. Very important to make sure you're getting this information from the correct site, right?
Absolutely. And of course, she knew the exact website to go to. Okay, so, I just go to Google with everything. Right. Okay,
that
Social Security website, yes. If you don't, she's always on it. How much do we have to pay her today, folks, in the studio? I mean, we're going to give her a raise for helping us there. But
well, to be fair, as you know, I used to travel nationwide and present on the subject matter of Social Security. And I think, we started off today talking about how times have changed. There's been a lot of changes within the last 10 years, which has made this timing discussion with Social Security so much more complicated. So can you shed some light for folks who may not be aware on what has changed? Yeah,
so there was also different ways of suspending, stopping, restarting Social Security. A lot of those loopholes, they're gone.
The strategies that people were able to use.
Those are gone now. So, they know how to kind of tweak things to really benefit, the government, really, or benefit that.
Yep.
But the major issue I see, number one, is when to accept it, when to take it. And your health is a really important factor, right? So if I'm someone that is in pretty good health and I figure out, hey, I may be around a while, I may want to defer taking my Social Security because I get raises every time I defer it.
Right.
But in other cases, sometimes we'll look over things for clients. We'll say, well, hang on a second. In your plan, and this is what's nice about our planning, we can show when you retire, show you taking income from your investments, right? And then we show taking the Social Security at a certain age. And man, once you start taking that Social Security, you may not have to take as much from your investments, which will help them grow over time,
right,
and provide a bigger future income to you. So sometimes it's better off taking your Social Security sooner. Sometimes it's better off taking it later. Right?
Right.
But all this is in an analysis that we do for you. It's called a Social Security analysis that all of you that simply call in or set up a meeting with us, we can do a Zoom, we can do a phone call, we can do an in-office meeting. When you come into the office, it's a beautiful building. It's got beautiful oak trees all around it. We always talk about needing to make sure we give people a fresh cup of coffee to stay awake.
Because they're going to be so relaxed and comfortable,
They're going to be so chilled. I got these big, comfortable leather chairs in there and a big screen and all that good stuff. But no, when you come in, we can analyze when is the best time to take it. But also, don't count on it. Don't count on it, because many of us out there understand that Social Security really was only designed to be a very short period, or not really to provide most people their long-term income,
Well,
right?
it was designed to be a supplement, like a safety net for folks. It was never meant to be anyone's sole source of retirement income.
Yes,
That's the reality.
Yeah, and also years ago, when Social Security was really put together to help as a supplement, life expectancy wasn't as long.
Correct. Yes.
Right? So all of these calculations and numbers and figures that they came up with years and years and years ago are now really problematic because people are living a lot longer, which means that Social Security, could run out of money if that occurs. We're going to have a plan built for that too, right?
Because we have to think about that. I mean, we know there's a solvency issue, and the latest I saw was by the year 2034, it would no longer be solvent, right?
Yes.
Is that kind of what stats are showing?
Yeah. So in that case, maybe we take it earlier, right? And the money that we're going to take from our investments, we reinvest.
Interesting. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So there's all kinds of different strategies, but when you go to retire, Social Security is a very important piece of your overall plan if it's there for us, right?
It needs to be planned for sure.
Needs to be planned for.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. So even though they did away with a lot of these strategies, and this was back in 2015 that they removed those from the equation, guess what? There are still over 567 different mathematical calculations and computations based on when you could claim your Social Security benefit. But as you mentioned, so many personal factors can far outweigh the math. You mentioned, if someone is, how their health is. Let's talk about if you're married or you're single or you're still working. How do those things come into play?
Those really, really affect the overall returns of your Social Security and how much you can get, right? So in a lot of cases, what we'll try to do is we'll try to find the spouse that's a little bit older than the other, maybe is paid more into Social Security. So we may delay taking theirs, right, which could be a higher amount. So if that spouse predeceases the other, that spouse can inherit their husband's, we'll say, if the husband goes first, his Social Security.
Right, because when one spouse passes away, you're going to lose one of those Social Security checks, but you get to keep the higher of the two checks. So that's important.
That's very, very important. Any of you out there, have you heard of that? If you haven't heard of that and you don't understand any of this, which I'm sure there's many of you out there that have concerns with this, simply pick up your phone and give us a call. I mean, sit down, and if you're near retirement and you haven't looked at Social Security planning and to figure this all out, you could have some huge downfalls in your retirement if you don't do it properly.
Well, and this is why you include a Social Security optimization report as part of the complimentary written financial plan. So if you're new to this show is all about you. We want you to be able to retire successfully, and Social Security, as we've talked about today, is a huge piece of your individual financial retirement puzzle. Do you need help sorting through when is the optimal time for you? Glenn, I think another thing folks need to understand is that the Social Security Administration is allowed to give people information, but they are not allowed to give you individual personalized advice. The only way you're going to get that kind of advice is by coming in and sitting down with someone like Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services to figure out that optimal time for you. So if this is resonating with you at all, if you need help figuring out this important decision for your retirement, we invite you to pick up the phone and call the number you see on the bottom of your screen, 888-503-7408, and you'll be able to schedule your complimentary time to come in and sit down and receive that Social Security optimization report as part of your comprehensive written financial plan. Or if you'd rather connect online, we've got you covered. If you simply pull out your smartphone, you can open up that camera app, just point, click, and scan that QR code that you see there down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team from Big Financial Services will reach out to connect with you to schedule your meeting that way as well. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're going to be covering some other important information about how times have changed and how you need to be prepared for them right after this.
So if you're close to retirement, that's pretty awesome, right? But a lot of people that I meet with can already retire. They think I've got another 4 or 5 year window before I can retire, right? And the reason why is they haven't sat down. They haven't budgeted everything of what they're going to need. You need to sit down with someone that can help you with planning for that retirement. Because once you retire, you lose a job. We've got to make up that job with income from somewhere. And we want to make sure that income can last. right? The rest of our lives. That's a very important thing. So sitting down with a professional, not only me, but shop around. Just make sure that they build a plan for you that you can review and feel comfortable with. Building those plans is very, very important. And that way it gives you some kind of peace to it, and that's what most of us want to know is when can we retire? Well, there's all kinds of different tools that are available out there, and it's working with someone that knows all the tools. Did you know Uncle Sam might be your partner in retirement? It's true. If you have a 401k, if you have an IRA, a pension, or other similar retirement accounts, they're all tax targets. But how much? To get an easy-to-use tax calculator and to find out your potential tax liability, scan the QR code or go to bigtaxbill.com.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show, where today Glenn and I are discussing how times have changed, what it means for you in your retirement. If you're just joining us, we started off today's show talking about the importance knowing when is the optimal time for you to claim your Social Security benefit. And Glenn, one of the things I want to point out for our viewers who may not be aware is that I've been in this industry for over a decade. I know you've been at it a long time as well. So many firms out there don't even have this Social Security conversation with their clients, which is mind-blowing because it is a huge piece of the retirement puzzle. Why is that? And why do you take the opposite approach and spend time helping folks figure out how they can optimize their benefits?
To be really honest, I see a lot of lazy financial advisors out there. They're lazy. They have what they call an accumulation model. They work generally for these larger corporations that are all publicly traded, right? They need retained earnings for their stock price to grow, and these advisors work for those companies. Those companies really don't allow them to do these other types of planning that we do.
Well, there's no money in it for them either.
There's no money in it for them. That's true. So their goal or their plan is just to show you certain portfolios over time and try to beat a benchmark, and they consistently get their fees, right? So a lot of them don't even focus on Social Security.
Right.
And recently, because of this, I've seen all different types of ads. I'm sure you folks have seen them out there that companies are charging, $1,000 and up to build the same type of optimization report that I can provide you complimentary.
And why are they charging that when you're able to offer it completely free of charge?
Because this is a huge concern for people, and it should be a huge concern. When to take it? How many thousands of dollars are you going to miss if you don't hit it right or hit the proper time to take it, right? If you get sick or there's so many parameters in it that it is a huge concern. And, these other companies have some software that helps them share these things with you. But ours is an optimization report. It shows you so many unique things. It's fantastic. And it really gives you the peace of mind that, okay, I did pick this the right time, right? And look at how, now, and a lot of them will just do the report of when's the best time. And a lot of them think it's just simple math. And it is, honestly. It's primarily math and calculations, et cetera. But to include that type of optimization report in your actual plan that we build for you, with your other investments, with your pensions, with your retirement income that may come from real estate if you own real estate, right? Or business ventures you're involved in. There's so many other things. All of you out there are different. You're all different. But to be able to sit down with me and have a complimentary consultation. And here's what's nice, folks, out there, write this down. We as a firm never charge a consultation fee. Why is that? A lot of people say, well, Glenn, how do you make your money? We have a large book of business. We have many, many clients, and I'm what they call a fee-only advisor, okay? So we receive a small fee off of a large book of business. So while I'm sitting here doing this television show, I'm okay financially because I have income coming in. It allows me to spend my time doing the proper planning for folks, right? Because I'm always financially okay, right? And that's kind of why you want to work with a successful advisor,
who's
right?
independent as you are.
Yeah.
You're not beholden to these big companies
No.
and what they're pushing, but also you're a fiduciary. So explain that key difference.
So being an independent fiduciary means that I don't work for, quote unquote, that broker dealer, right? I work independently for you. So I'm going to look over things that are going to be in your best interest, right? And we're going to try to sit down and plan things properly that are going to help you, right, in the future. Right. So there's a lot, that word's thrown around a lot, okay? But if you work for a larger broker dealer or a larger company and they tell you what you're required to offer the client, right? And it may be more beneficial for their bottom line, right? That's not really an independent fiduciary. An independent fiduciary is someone that says, okay, well, this Schwab relationship, there could be one better over here, or this life insurance company that offers this unique annuity or plans. There's another one out there that may be a better plan. We're required to do some research to find you the best possible plan. It doesn't matter what we make financially. It depends on us putting together those plans that are going to be best for you, the client. And you have to do what's best for the client in all capability, the best you can.
For sure. And I would add, too, that this is why you can't afford not to look at things from that comprehensive, holistic perspective, because how you make a decision in one area of your financial life can and will affect all the others. That's really true with Social Security. I mean, there's tax implications.
Oh, yes.
Right? A lot of people aren't aware of that. They aren't aware of that if they're still working and they're not full retirement age and they go ahead and start claiming that Social Security benefit, they could be penalized and not receive as much. So there's a lot of ways that this can go wrong when folks are trying to do it on their own.
Yes, and it's the type of planning where you need someone like myself that understands all of this, right? And not only do I work with you, we generally build a team around a client, right? So our team can be your team. You know, if you have a CPA or someone an attorney, an estate planning attorney, you know, whatever you have, we can build a team around you as the client. And I'll work with your CPA, I'll work with your estate planning attorney, or we may be able to refer you to someone that can help you. But Social Security is a very, very important thing. And get a second opinion. That's the most important thing. If you're working with an advisor that doesn't specialize in this stuff, right? I'm not saying to leave him and come work with us, but come get the report done. Come see what we can do for you. Have your eyes opened to what's happening. And in a lot of cases, people just like to close their eyes. Everything's okay, right? And then when you sit down with me, it could be a little stressful because I'm going to share with you all of the negative things: taxes, inflation, Social Security tax, you know, when you are required or forced to take those distributions. By the way, you're going to be taxed on your Social Security based on your current income. Do you want to be taxed on your Social Security? No. So let's look at moving those IRAs into Roth IRAs so we're not forced to take those taxable distributions at 73, right?
Yep.
And or if I'm in a Roth that's tax-free and it doesn't really affect those things with the current laws, right? So a lot of this stuff is just very, very important to sit down with someone that specializes in all these other areas and also works with other people that are going to help not only with my advice, but let's get with your CPA, let's get with your attorney, let's get with the whole team and let's work together to create a plan that's going to be successful for you, not a failure.
Very well said, Glenn. And you know what they say about a second opinion? You can't get a second opinion from the same person that gave you the first. So if you would like to have an opportunity to have a second set of eyes, look at your situation, see if you're on track to reach your goals, see if what you're doing is in fact in your best interest, Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services would love to be able to provide that for you. This is for no cost, no charge, no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how they can help and serve you. That number to call to schedule your time to come in and receive this complimentary written financial plan is there on the bottom of your screen, 888-503-7408. Or again, you're welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. We've got a lot more to share with you on today's show. Stay with us. We'll be back with more right after this.
So you have a 401k with a former employer. Great, fantastic. You know, that means you've been able to accumulate some wealth, it's growing. But the problem is you don't have a lot of investment options that may be available to you except for what's in that 401k. So what's the best option that we see in a lot of cases? For clients to simply roll that over. No taxes, they simply roll that over to another IRA if you have an IRA account. And once that money rolls over, you can look at other options that may be available that you're not even aware of. Sit down with a professional, someone that can help you look over that 401k and either stay in the current plan or look to roll that over to where you may have better options that may help improve your retirement in the future. Look at reducing those taxes, look at getting a great income plan. That's something our company loves to do for folks. We'd love to share them with you. Please give us a call today. Did you ever think that your own retirement would be shared with our government? It's true, your 401k, IRA, pension, or other similar retirement accounts are in partnership with good old Uncle Sam. Simply put, they want their tax dollars and you have them. With our latest tax calculator, you can plug in your own number while sitting at home. To find out what your future tax liability may be, simply scan the QR code or go to bigtaxbill.com.
Welcome back to the Big Money Show, where today we've been talking about the fact that times have changed, and are you prepared to successfully navigate to and through your retirement? We've covered the Social Security timing conversation today, and gosh, so much goes into making sure you have a comprehensive, holistic financial plan in place for yourself. But Glenn, I want to ask you something that I think a lot of our viewers can probably relate to. We live in a world of do-it-yourself investing, right?
Yeah.
That DIY scenario. And a lot of people out there, you might be managing your money on your own. You might have been doing it on your own all this time. But the question is, should you? And a few weeks back, we mentioned this Vanguard study, and we wanted to devote some more time to talk about this. Vanguard, the world's second largest money manager, who is predominantly used by do-it-yourself investors, put out a study answering the question of, do financial advisors really add value?
Yeah.
And there's some very interesting research that came out of that study. Should we dive into this?
Please,
okay, so here you go. Over a 25-year period, someone who was doing it themselves would see about 50% less growth on their money than someone who's working with a financial advisor. And here were the numbers that they provided. $500,000 self-managed will grow to $1.69 million over 25 years. But that same amount of money with someone who was using a financial advisor would grow to $3.4 million.
My gosh.
Isn't that amazing?
You know, not only is it amazing, I believe that's a true study.
Well, it is a very true study. And what's so fascinating is they had no skin in the game because they're predominantly used by the do-it-yourself investor, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, what is your take on this, and why is it that someone who is working with a financial advisor is able to make so much more in the long run?
Well, I think it's decision making. Okay, so give you an example, every single one of you out there, if you would like to have us do this for you, complimentary, no charge, you simply call in, schedule a meeting with us. My assistant will send you what they call a document share link, and you simply share your investment statements with us, and we'll do a complimentary cost and risk analysis for no charge. I know we've mentioned that before. But it comes back with an entire report, and that entire report is eye-opening for you. What it's going to show you is it's going to show you where you're currently invested, we'll say in your 401k, if you're doing it yourself, and then it'll compare it to, say, a standard benchmark like an S&P 500, right? And if you listen to a lot of big financial planners out there, the Dave Ramseys, the Warren Buffetts, they say just buy an S&P 500, a large cap fund, and just kind of ride it out, and it actually can outperform. Some small caps, some mid caps, those are smaller companies, right? It can outperform bonds, which are having a pretty big problem right now because of rising and lowering interest rates, as well as international stocks, right? So just buy an S&P 500. But when I look at the standard benchmark, and I look at where people are, they're missing such opportunity because the gentleman that came in the other day to sit down with me, when I looked at it, he was over-diversified, trying to seek better gains than the large cap companies in mid caps, small caps, international, and bonds. And he made that change to reduce, quote unquote, his overall risk after COVID. That one move he made may have reduced his risk. I'm not saying he did anything wrong, may have reduced his risk for that next month or two. But he's missed the entire upside of these strong markets the last few years. And now he's in a situation where he's like, gosh, if I would have just had you, I wish I could have met you back when I did this. If I could have had you help me plan for this. So these are the kind of things we see all the time. That's why you need a second opinion, not only on plans that are built by other financial advisors, but also on your own decision making. And in a lot of cases, I call it emotional changes.
Decision making, right?
Emotional decision making. A lot of people fail in those areas, and that's how we can help.
We're too close to our own stuff, I think, sometimes to see the forest through the trees. But I will say, of the do-it-yourself investors I have met, one of the main reasons why they want to do it themselves is they're so scared of paying any fee. But this Vanguard study, that took the fees into account. And so how would you address that objection if someone's going, well, I'd rather do it on myself because I don't want to pay a fee?
Well, meet with an advisor, because as you mentioned, if you were with that advisor and you made double the money, it's worth paying a smaller fee to be able to have good advice and good management. We do not work for free, folks, okay? We don't work for free, but we do have a significant value in a lot of cases. We'd love to meet with you, share with you the value we have. I know we're ending the show here. Please give us a call, reach out your phone, give us a call, come in and hang out with me. Let's have a fresh cup of coffee. Let's review what you have, and let's build some plans that are tailored to you that hopefully can help you with your future retirement.
Wonderful, Glenn, thank you. I would just add that fees are only a problem in the absence of value, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And if you're able to pay that small fee and end up with more money at the end of the day, which is a possibility as the study showed, would that be worth it to you? So we invite you to pick up the phone and call the number on the bottom of your screen to schedule your time to come in and receive your complimentary written financial plan from Glenn and the team of Big Financial Services. 888-503-7408, or you're welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time here on The Big Money Show.